I wanted to bring today's episode to the podcast talking about a plan for you and next steps going forward. Many people that I speak with have already made the diet and lifestyle changes, but it's still not working. So I wanted to talk about an action plan so that you can fast track your chances of pregnancy success. This episode is for you if you are not sure of what to do next, but you are open-minded and ready to take action. So excited for you to listen to this episode. I would like to invite you and your partner to a Supercharge Your Fertility Discovery Call. This call is for you if you meet at least one of the following criteria. You've been trying to get pregnant for at least 2 years. You've been through at least one failed IUI or IVF. This call is for action takers. If you're not ready and you wait, the risk is you'll need to wait 2 to 3 months for a spot to open up. If you're seriously considering work with us, go to fabfertile.com. That's fabfertile.com and click on Apply Here. That's fabfertile, fabfertile.com, and click on Apply Here. Then you'll be booked in and ready to spend 30 minutes to give you the action plan to getting pregnant naturally. One theme that keeps coming up with the couples in our Fab Fertile Couples Coaching Program is sleep. Whether it's insomnia, having a hard time falling asleep, waking up at night, or feeling tired when we wake up, sleep is critical for fertility and hormones. And that's why I'm so excited to have Blue Blocks as our podcast sponsor. So we're exposed to blue and green light from our phones, our tablets, our computers, indoor lights, and more. And this exposure impacts our melatonin production. And melatonin is essential for both female and male fertility. It helps determine the frequency and duration of our cycle and impacts sperm. There's lots of blue light blocking glasses on the market, but the ones from Blue Blocks, they've actually compared other popular brands, and Blue Blocks block 100% of blue and green light, while other brands fall short. So I have their sleep glasses. They have red lenses, and the ones I have are a little translucent frame, and they're so stylish and really cool. And so they eliminate 100% of the blue and green light in the 400 nanometer to 550 nanometer range. So this is exact range that has been shown in clinical studies to disrupt melatonin and negatively impact your sleep. So all you do is wear your sleep glasses after sunset until it's time for bed, and you'll notice improved sleep after just one use. And it's also cool to use when you're flying for managing jet lag. I got to say, I was a little skeptical about the noticing improvement after one use, but literally I use these glasses and my sleep is actually already pretty good. I used them for one day, and I have to say, after one day, I had the best sleep of my life. I just felt so rested. So these glasses, they ship free and they're tracked for all orders anywhere in the world. And also they have all their frames come in prescription, non-prescription, and reading glasses. Plus you can send in your frames and they'll add the blue light blocking and green light blocking lenses to your frame. So this is an easy hack that you can add to your fertility toolkit. All you do is go to BlueBlocks, BlueBlocks.com. Use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast at checkout and receive a 15% discount. That's BlueBlocks, BlueBlocks.com, and use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast to receive your 15% discount. Hey there. Thanks so much for listening to the Get Pregnant Naturally podcast. And I've got a favor to ask you. If you are enjoying learning about the functional approach to fertility, consider going to iTunes and rating and reviewing the podcast. This is how it helps the show reach more people that are struggling with infertility, knowing that there's another approach that really can get to the bottom of why it's not working in the first place. So all you need to do is, if you're on the app or the desktop, just go in and consider leaving a 5-star rating and leave a review. And there is step-by-step instructions in the show notes showing you exactly how to do that. So if you can just take a few minutes, just take the few minutes right now. You can pause this recording, come back, leave the review. It would really mean the world to me and help others that are on the fertility journey as well. Take care. I didn't need to go to donor eggs. Obviously, I don't regret it. I have beautiful children. I could have done things differently, restored. I was still cycling back in my 20s. I could have looked at my health, the environmental toxins, the stress I was under.
Many women are being told their eggs are too old. That's often merely an assumption that's not based on actual evidence. The reason being that there is no direct test of egg quality. You can't test egg quality.
It's the man who's got a food sensitivity or he has a zinc deficiency.
Like, there can be a root cause to these symptoms that are, quote unquote, period problems, that the doctor will pass you a pill without any question of why.
And some part of you knows that if you can reframe your journey from not one of struggle Or if it is struggle, learn how to embrace the struggle. Learn how to embrace it.
Most conditions in the child occur during the 9 months of development. It's the genetic switches are turned on or turned off, and they're pre-programmed. So you are in such a powerful, amazing position to do amazing things for your kids.
Why is IVF the first step? Because we believe it should be the last step. Welcome to Get Pregnant Naturally, where functional medicine and natural fertility solutions will help you get pregnant and have your baby. Hey there, I'm Sarah Clark, founder of Fab Fertile and your host. I believe the functional approach is the first step for anyone on the fertility journey, and my aim is to help you get pregnant naturally. Today, we're digging into what to do next if you've made diet and lifestyle changes and it's still not working. This episode is for you as if you want a proven plan to improve your chances of pregnancy success. You want to fast track your chances so you don't waste time on strategies that don't work. You want to work on your health and get pregnant naturally, or improve your chances of pregnancy success with your own eggs. Thanks so much for listening. I'm so thankful that you're here. Make sure you hit subscribe. And if you know someone else who is on the fertility journey, please share this podcast with them. I want to talk about some next steps for you. So if you've been listening to this podcast, hopefully you have made and implemented some of the suggestions that we talk about. Looking at your diet, figuring out the diet that's right for you, looking at some lifestyle changes, moving, looking at your sleep. So there's a lot of suggestions that I've been talking about on the podcast. So hopefully you were here and you have made some changes. So you may have made these changes and now you're wondering, well, it still hasn't worked. What do I do next? So on this episode, I wanted to kind of give you some strategies to help you as you move forward. So especially as we go into this holiday season, you may have thought 2021 was the year that you would get pregnant. And at this stage, it may not have worked for you. So this can be, it can be very frustrating as you and heartbreaking as you see family and friends again. Maybe you haven't seen them in a little while and you start to gather again. And it may be bringing up a lot, it may be very triggering for you. It may be, maybe you're dealing with grief. Just to acknowledge that, because this is a lot, right? The moment that you start trying to have your child is the moment that you already are a parent. So you want to have your child, and bringing that baby into the world is something that, the fertility journey will impact all aspects of your life. For someone that hasn't been through it, it's very difficult for them to understand what it is. It can be very all consuming. I wanted to give you so first of all, to acknowledge that this is a lot. And if you're like me, like a type A, like get it done kind of person, and listening to this podcast and you've implemented those diet and lifestyle changes and you're just getting it going, but you haven't, given the space or honored that this is tough, right? It can be difficult. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to keep going and, being very busy. So we're talking a lot about recently more about chronic stress, because for myself, when I was diagnosed with premature ovarian insufficiency at 28, I literally had no idea that I was stressed. But looking back, and I actually would have said I wasn't stressed. So I was extremely disconnected from my body. I had those different health issues going on, like obviously irregular cycles. I had yeast infections and, I was put on birth control. And then, years later, I discovered I had, multiple food sensitivities, gut infections. And then the underlying piece of all this was chronic stress, because I've got tons of energy. I just like to do a lot of things. I have lots of ideas and, I get excited about a whole bunch of things. So I just kept going, to the point that, I became burnt out. I remember, going across the street to the mailbox was the final straw. I'm like, I can't even go across the street to the freaking mailbox. There was one too many things on my to-do list. So it is to honor, where you are, and to honor all the things that you've probably already done. Most people come to me and it's not just, oh my goodness, I've, what is gluten-free? They've typically tried to take out gluten. They've maybe tried to take out dairy. They have worked on their sleep. They've reduced some of the vigorous exercise, and they've looked at their movement. They've they've dug into some of the triggers and they've done a lot of work. And that can be frustrating where, you do all this work, change your diet, optimize your lifestyle. And then the person down the street that does nothing is able to get pregnant quite easily. So it can be get caught in that comparison game that really can keep you stuck. Comparison is a thief of joy. And it's just can be that slippery slope. And as we head into the holiday season with potentially family members being pregnant, being around children, if you're going to any kind of events at your, church, mosque, synagogue, wherever it may be, you may be, faced with families, and people may be asking you that it's really kind of it's a question that, a seemingly innocuous question. Are you pregnant yet? Or when are you going to have a baby? And for someone that's on the fertility journey, it can make you feel gutted. And so it's as we go into these times to figure out how you want to handle it, educate a small group of people around you and tell them kind of what you want. And a lot of times we don't even really know what we want. So think about how you don't need to tell everyone your whole journey, but maybe you need to tell a few people. As we head into this holiday season, and as we approach the end of the year, I wanted to give you, talking about a proven plan, because we can make those generalized diet and lifestyle recommendations. We can follow the superfoods. We can read the books, listen to the podcast and all of that. But knowledge is power. And what's interesting, in times of stress, I default to this just love of learning that I have, but then it can spiral into something that's not really helpful. So I, in our welcome calls, when we're working with clients, I ask them, how much research are you doing? And many times it can be 2, 3, 4 hours a day. And research can be good. Again, that love of learning. But then if it's spiraling you and you're feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, and up, all hours of the night, that can just put this very heavy pressure, and the pressure of why isn't it working? Having your shoulders up to your ears, and then just this very restricted, this pressure you put on yourself. And so how do you release that and open it up and just sort of let your shoulders drop and take a breath and get yourself out of that, fight or flight into that parasympathetic, out of the sympathetic fight or flight into the parasympathetic rest and digest. Feel your shoulders drop, feel your belly, rise and fall, and let the breath in and really get ready to receive. Because when we're up there trying and moving in our type A kind of way that we do, there's a lot of that, that obviously in that those are your strengths, but also asking for help, knowing when, you need someone along the way with you to call you out on your own crap. So I wanted to invite you and your partner to a Supercharge Your Fertility Strategy session. So this is basically during this session, and you need to apply for this. And you apply to that, and I'll have a link in the show notes, but you can just go to fabfertile.com. So FABfertile.com and click on apply here. And so I'll let you know what's going to happen in this personalized consultation. So first of all, I'm going to review your fertility history, and then we can develop a plan that can help optimize your chances of pregnancy success with your own eggs. Because we're helping couples with low AMH and high FSH, diminished ovarian reserve, premature ovarian insufficiency, typically been told, donor eggs are their only option. They may have gone through multiple failed IVFs. They may have had canceled cycles that they weren't able to proceed. They may have been a poor responder. They may have had the experience loss and miscarriage because the underlying healing opportunities were not addressed. And someone has given that diagnosis and didn't even look at all the other things from a biochemical, mental, emotional, all of it, a whole body approach. No one's looked at that. I wanted to let you know what to expect on this call. So first of all, the call, I'll let you know who this call is for. So it's for you if you have not had a call with me in the last 12 months. It's for you if you have low AMH, high FSH, premature ovarian insufficiency, or diminished ovarian reserve. It's for you if you want to get pregnant within the next 3 to 6 months. It's for you if you're willing to focus on getting pregnant naturally. And then also, are you ready to make the necessary diet and lifestyle changes with a proven protocol? Sometimes we've made some of these changes. Are you willing to look at this, have an open mind, and dig deeper? And have you tried naturally for at least 2 years, and or had at least one failed IUI or IVF. So that's who this call is for. And so now the benefits of what to expect on the call. So we're going to be discussing what you've tried so far and where you've faced challenges. So obviously this can feel stressful, but it's really designed to help us get to the root cause of your fertility issues and help me give you the best possible action plan at the end of the call. So this is all, again, we work with type A people. So it is all about the plan. I am like literally, I remember someone telling me years ago, they would wake up and they would just go with the flow. And I'm like, that sounds like the most insane thing I have ever heard. You would, of course, need to have a plan. Now, as I say, action plan, as part of this, it is, I have now since been able to now go with the flow a lot more. It is not my default. In times of default, I want the plan. I want to control it. Ambiguity, uncertainty can be difficult. So, to recognize, as a type A, that is your strength to like, let's go forward, take the plan. But we're also going to be wanting you to, as I sit here, I put my arms out, wanting you to be in that kind of like receiving, letting your heart space, like your intuition, the trust, just the knowing that you already are a mother or father the moment you decide to start trying to conceive. We're going to get you give you an action plan. And then, as I say, so on this call, we're not going to be digging into the trauma associated with the fertility journey, with miscarriage, with loss. Rather, we're going to be focused on the solutions and the action plan of how our Fab Fertile method can help you get pregnant naturally or improve your chances of pregnancy success with your own eggs. Okay, so before you jump on this call with me and apply, we want you to have an honest discussion with your partner. Most of the people that are listening to my podcast are women. So this is a couples coaching program, and your partner needs to be doing this with you. So we hear it all the time, I'm making the changes and he's not doing it, even though, we are dealing with female factor infertility. Typically we're seeing more and more, it's 50-50 for male and female. And so we're seeing, the low AMH and high FSH and diminished ovarian reserve and premature ovarian insufficiency, along with potential male factor issues, be it low sperm count, DNA fragmentation, and more. It's very important. And even if there isn't any issues with your partner's semen, and his health is fine, there's always things you can do to optimize your health. And beginning of when I started this years ago, we were just coaching women and it was missing the whole other equation. Like this is for you and your partner to prepare both of your bodies for a baby together. And if he is not on the same page as you, it just creates this sort of rift in what we're doing. And it's basically, we're never going to drag someone along the finish line. He'll have his own goals. You'll have your own goals, but you're together doing this together. And it just really builds that strong foundation. So you want to make sure that you have a discussion with your partner ahead of time, talking about the Fab Fertile method. And you can look at the Fab Fertile method. There's a link in the show notes where there's a little video, a short video that we talk about what it is that we do with our team and really how we then help improve your chances of pregnancy success. So there's an episode I did about our team approach, and we include, a fertility coach, a fertility nutrition practitioner. We have an OBGYN on our team with a functional medicine background. So we really believe in this team approach, all eyes on a case to help improve success rates. So check out that Fab Fertile method beforehand. Make sure you're both on the same page with exploring, natural fertility options. So if you're still looking to proceed with an IUI or an IVF for the next 3 months or so, then our method may not be right for you at this time. And so like we talked about just before there, so it takes 2 to have a baby. And during the call, we're going to explain what both partners can do to improve their preconception health. And like we said, even if it's female factor infertility, there's always things your partner can do to optimize his health and then improve intimacy, your relationship. Going through the fertility journey, it can be extremely difficult on a relationship. It'll either bring you closer together or pull you apart. That's to have him on the same page. And then also, so there is an application fee for this, and it can be this call, and it can be used as a credit towards the Fab Fertile program. And so then if we decide that you are not a good fit for the Fab Fertile program, you'll receive a full refund on your application fee, no questions asked. and we'll direct you to other resources that may be a better fit for your specific situation. And so there's really no risk to jumping on the call and everything to gain. So you'll have a better understanding of the underlying health issues that are holding you back from pregnancy success. As we stand here, I'm recording this on November the 12th, and it's going live on Monday. As I'm recording this, as we're heading towards the end of the year, if you are ready to take action, so like this is for action takers, people that are open-minded, they've made some of the changes, but it's still not working, and you really want to be pregnant, now is the time to speak with me. So you can go to fabfertile.com. So that's fabfertile.com. I look forward to speaking with you and your partner. So take care. I would like to invite you and your partner to a Supercharge Your Fertility Discovery Call. This call is for you if you meet at least one of the following criteria. You've been trying to get pregnant for at least 2 years. You've been through at least one failed IUI or IVF. This call is for action takers. If you're not ready and you wait, the risk is you'll need to wait 2 to 3 months for a spot to open up. If you're seriously considering work with us, go to fabfertile.com. That's fabfertile.com and click on Apply Here. That's fabfertile, fabfertile.com, and click on Apply Here. Then you'll be booked in and ready to spend 30 minutes to give you the action plan to getting pregnant naturally. Melatonin is important for female fertility. It helps regulate hormones and maintain the body's circadian rhythms. Plus, it helps determine the frequency and duration of the menstrual cycle. Plus, it impacts sperm count and motility. Blue and green light negatively impact our melatonin production. That's why we recommend Blue Blocks, blue and green light sleep glasses to all our one-to-one clients. Simply go to BlueBlocks, BlueBlocks.com, and use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast at checkout to receive your 15% discount. That's BlueBlocks, BlueBlocks.com, and use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast. The Get Pregnant Naturally podcast, including show notes and links, provides information with respect to healthy living, nutrition, lab testing, and is intended for informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor is it to be construed as such. We cannot guarantee that the information provided on the Get Pregnant Naturally podcast reflects the most up-to-date medical research. Information is provided without representation or warranties of any kind. Please consult a qualified physician for medical advice and always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your health and nutrition program.